All right. Welcome to Rotary. I'm Amber, and let's start the way we always do with the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And for our club, is it fun? Absolutely. Dennis, do you care to get us started in prayer, please?
Certainly. Let us pray. Our good and gracious Father, we thank you for the many blessings you bestow on us. In such difficult times, we are thankful as Rotarians to be able to continue to serve our community and the world. Help us recognize that more than ever, it is our job to offer a hand up to our fellow man. Watch over and protect us and keep us ever mindful that to those who are blessed, much is expected. We ask this and all things in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Lori Tuggle, if you would, with our trivia question.
Okay, so if everybody will unmute yourself so you can shout out that answer, and we can maybe save you $1 today. Although I'm gonna have to send a bill out for the fines because it's getting to be up there. So today's trivia question is, adjacent counties, Allen and Simpson, were both named for soldiers who died in which War of 1812 battle? Which War of 1812 battle? Shout out the answer when you know it, please.
Right.
No, that's not even in the
New Orleans.
No.
War of 1812.
Brittany, do y'all know the answer?
Brittany has an answer.
I'm not even,
What's
I
your
don't even,
answer? Shout
not
it
even in the
out.
right war, he said.
Oh, okay. No other guesses, right? So it's the Battle of River Raisin. I found that very interesting.
River Raisin, that's
Don't
funny.
ask me why, but there you go. That's today.
Right on the tip of my tongue, let me tell you.
So that's this week's trivia question. So everybody on here owes me $1.
Absolutely, thank you. That's
You're welcome.
about $15 coming our way towards a scholarship. I got a couple of announcements. We did have the paper towels delivered this past week to the high school. So I think it was 17 cartons of paper towels that Rotary donated. And September, we're kind of looking for an organization that's needing something donated or some help. Like we were just talking about earlier, in December, we're going to be ringing the bells for the Salvation Army. And this year, it is our commitment for our motto, service above self. Also, just to point out that on the 25th of August, the World Health Organization announced that the transmission of the wild polio virus has been stopped in all 47 countries of its African region. This is historic and a vital step towards global eradication of polio, which is our top priority. And Rich, am I wrong in saying there's only 2 countries remaining?
Afghanistan and Pakistan, largely because of the continued strife there. But this means that Nigeria is clear once again. Just as a cautionary tale, Nigeria was wild polio free. You might remember here 3 years ago, I think, and a case got brought back into the country from Afghanistan, as I remember, and started started it going again. And so it's taken all this long to get back to the status of polio free for Africa. So keep on being proud of what we're doing as far as giving. It's really tough during this COVID time because a lot of the volunteers that were doing the immunizations aren't able to get out and about right now.
Well, I'm glad that we're able to help with this. And like you said, 2 other countries, hopefully at some point we'll get those countries as well. And next is Alex, please.
Good afternoon, President Amber, fellow Rotarians. We're continuing with our Rotary member spotlights to get to know each other a little bit better. And our Rotarian for this week is Leslie Crampy. So I'll pass it off to Leslie to tell us a little more about herself.
Fellow Rotarians, just wanted to come on here and tell you energy. I take care of the commercial and industrial accounts and do economic development for Kinergy across 14 counties in West Kentucky, kind of the liaison with the large industrials. Some of those include Tyson, Accurod, Kimberly-Clark, Alaris, Domtar, just spread across the 14 counties. And then also assist the economic development organizations to foster growth in the communities in which Kinergy serves. So we are member owned. So if you have Kinergy Electric Service, then you are a member owner of Kinergy. And we are nonprofit, meaning that any profits that we make go back to our members in the form of capital credits. So we are proud to serve rural Kentucky.
Wonderful. We're so glad that you're a member of Rotary for over 3 years, almost 3.5. That's awesome.
My husband recruited me to be a part of Rotary, so I'll give him a little bit of credit there. And if you haven't heard of Kinergy's recent announcement, we're trying to be a broadband provider to our members and in the communities that we serve. So please check out Kinergy's Facebook page. We have a lot of hurdles to still overcome legislatively and regulatory. So if you would like to send a letter of support to help Kinergy hopefully be a provider, please go to our website or to Facebook and feel free to send a letter or an email to the Public Service Commission. That would really help us. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Leslie. All right. And next is our program. Brittany, I'll let you get started.
All right. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. This is Matt Reynolds that's here with me today. Matt is our operations manager here at Habitat. And we just wanted to give you guys a little update on what Habitat's been doing out in the community in the last couple of months, and also to share some other information with you. So with Habitat's update, we are building 4 homes right now. We're building those 2 homes over on Letcher Street, which you guys have probably seen as part of the End of Our City project. That's 219 Letcher Street, which the Sauer family is going to be living in, and 217 Letcher Street, which the Wiles family is going to be living in. Then we are also have just started at 1535 Cumnock Street, which the Harmon family is going to be living in, and 1233 Cumnock Street. We will be putting a foundation in there next month, and that is where the Schindler family will be living. The Schindler family and the Sauer family, both of the heads of household, they actually work for the local hospital. So they are on the front lines, and they have been, since COVID started. So we felt it was very important to help people who are helping keep our community safe each day, to give them a safe place to live as well. Our Habitat here currently has 36 active mortgages, and we have been in existence since 1991, and we've had 30 paid off mortgages in that time as well, which we're very, very, very proud of. The economic impact that our affiliate alone has made between July of 2019 and June of 2020, we built 3 homes last year, and with just those 3 homes, the vacant lot value on those 3 lots was $14,000. But once we built 3 homes on those, the lot values became $327,000. So vacant lot tax, $14,000. Once we put 3 homes on them, $327,000. So that's a large economic impact that just the 3 homes we built last year had. Insurance paid in Henderson last year was $37,996.39. I would say 99% of that money was paid to local agents. We have very few people who do not use local Henderson agents. City taxes paid was $8,893.67, and county taxes paid by our homeowners was $20,417.10. You can tell Matt does the numbers, not me. Dennis is probably laughing over there right now. So collectively in taxes, our homeowners paid almost $30,000 in just city and county taxes combined. And then you add that to the $37,000 that they paid in insurance to local agents last year. That's a large economic impact, we feel. The full-time homeowners that we have working in Henderson County right now are 20. And then we have another 4 homeowners who work full-time in the tri-state area as well. And places in Henderson that our homeowners work, they work for the school system, Cytex, Tyson, Fifth Third Bank, Walmart, and as I mentioned, the hospital as well. Before I let Matt continue with some other items, I do want to let you guys know we're going to be doing a housing fair October 1st through the 31st. So if you know anyone who needs to apply for housing, please have them contact us October 1st through the 31st. And it usually takes about 18 months for us to build a home, but we want to go ahead and get them in the program, get them their financial literacy classes, get them their other classes, and we actually are pairing with an entity that does online financial classes. We've also paired with the UK Extension Office for some sweat equity hours through their take-home bags that they've recently started doing as well. So it's been some interesting months here. Matt's going to talk a little bit more about that. We've had to pivot. As Dennis knows, every time we think that we have a good plan, we have to repivot and repivot and repivot. And I know that's about every organization. But our guys have been resilient. Our staff has been resilient. And even with a couple of months we lost on building, we've been able to pick that back up and finish our houses sooner than we expected. So what Matt's going to talk about now is why Habitat? Why now? And why is Habitat so important in Henderson? So I'm going to kind of turn it over to Matt.
Well, thank you for having me, everybody. Brittany did a really good job going over everything there, and we like to think of Habitat as sort of an investment from the standpoint of a donor. When we approach donors, we try to talk about the investment standpoint of it. And a lot of questions, I'm sure that a lot of y'all have on here, the same questions that we get asked all the time. And the number one question I have to say that I've been asked in my time here is, do we give these homes away? And that is I have to take some of the blame. Habitats as a whole, and I can't apologize for all of them, but I can certainly apologize for our own. We really haven't done a fantastic job of explaining the intricacies of how the moment donor money or grant funds, once we receive them, how that turns into a house. We've tried to come up with some great ways, and every time we get a group such as yourself together, we try to do what we're doing now and explain it, but we really can't figure out a really great way to just put it on a billboard, because the billboard would have to be 100 feet high, and so many people would be raking into the back of each other trying to read it because there'd be so much on it. But no, we don't give these homes away. These homes, the way that we do them, they are subsidized grants. We have if y'all showed up to any of our dedications or groundbreakings, we have great grantors of Kentucky Housing Corporation and Federal Home Loan Bank of Cincinnati. They are a huge help in our success of building homes here in Henderson. And the funds that they allot us, for the most part, are a subsidy. So when Brittany read you the city taxes, county taxes, the homeowner pays insurance and taxes based on the appraised value of the home, which right now our 3-bedroom homes are appraising for between 110 and 115. Our 2-bedroom homes are appraising for around 90,000. Okay, so that's what they're going to pay taxes and insurance based on. However, the money that the grants give us, we are able to subsidize, so that homeowner's first mortgage is the appraised value less the subsidies. So of course those subsidies are protected with silent second mortgages and grant restrictions, deed restrictions, so they can't just turn around and sell it the next day and put money in their pocket. I mean, but they do get to start out with equity. We're putting a lot of equity in these neighborhoods that are just filled with blight and dilapidation, and you go over there across from the splash park now. That's a great example of starting some of these folks out with this equity, and it may be the biggest part of some of their net worth they may ever have, and we feel really good about that. And they'll have their homes paid off in 15 years, and then they can do whatever they want. We hope that if you've grown up and your kids have grown up and you've been a part of something for 15 years, we like to hope that the moment that comes, they don't just turn around and sell it. Of course, that is their right, but we have this feeling that they're going to live on and stay on. They become part of our Habitat family. So Brittany mentioned, why Habitat, why now? Obviously, affordable housing was already pretty big pre-COVID. And obviously now it's going to be much bigger. There's a lot more families in need of affordable housing. And as Brittany mentioned, the folks that are going into the homes, over 2/3 of them are employed locally here in town. They're investing in the community. They're working in the community. They're spending their money in the community, and so on and so forth. So we're trying to, our overall arching goal is to try to lessen the strain on the federal, state, and local level of, for better lack of words, government assistance. We can start by placing these families that may otherwise be homeless, living in government housing, there's all sorts. The definition of homeless, I didn't realize how vast it was. I just always pictured, somebody just living under a bridge, but homeless means so many things. And once these folks get in these homes and they start, because the way that we build them, these grantors also request that they are extremely energy efficient. So what we're finding out is not only are their payment, because they have no interest on these loans, these are 0% interest, but their principal, escrow, and utilities are far less than some of just their utility bills are right now, much less their rent and utilities, and so on and so forth. So they're able to spend more on food, able to spend more on medication, able to spend more, the list goes on. And we can really see that it pays dividends. Now, it's taken a lot of time. Brittany and the board of directors, the executive board especially, have wanted to get together a form of a survey to find out how that the lives of some of these families have improved since receiving their Habitat home. We are in the middle of that. We have somebody from, I think, Brittany, correct me if I'm wrong, USI. Yeah, USI is going to help us with that. Brittany and I, again, we can sit here and tell you all day that we have facts and figures that can show you that their lives are improving. They've gotten out of this cyclical or generational cycle that they're in. I can truly tell you it is happening. However, we do want to back that up with facts and figures so that when we present to donors or anybody who feels that they want to be part of Habitat, that we can show them how they're actually making a difference and not just throwing us a couple $1,000 and they don't even know if it goes to the light bill or to the broken, somebody stole our, I'm sure all y'all heard how many times we got robbed last year. Luckily, since our surveillance system and stuff's put up, nothing. So the knock on wood there. But no, Habitat it's a great investment in the community, and the folks, like Brittany said here, do a very good job. And thank God for Henderson. Henderson has been very, very receptive and helpful in helping our mission grow over the past 8 years that I've been here. I know that for a fact. So I'm going to let anybody have any questions. I might go into something after some questions, but I'm sure there has to be some questions. So if you want to unmute yourselves and ask a few questions, either myself or Brittany, go ahead.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment as a board member. I think one of the things that impresses me so much is the pride that these homeowners take in the homes that they have. I use this location all the time, but if you want to see a home that is certainly well taken care of, look at the house on the corner of Washington and Atkinson. They have worked on landscaping, added fencing, they've added to that house. And as Matt and I talked about, any surgeon can go in there and do surgery on those floors because it is an immaculate home. But it's, for so many of these people, it's having a house that they can be proud of. And I think that's huge. And I can tell you that they are so grateful for what they have. They work, they put time in, and their kids are grateful. And that's the other thing. I think they are working at teaching their kids to care for something and be proud of it. So
From a video that Matt and I recently watched from some athletes their parents were Habitat homeowners, a few things they mentioned, which we found very interesting, was one, Many of them, that was their first mailbox they had ever owned. And I looked at Matt, I'm like, have you never not owned a mailbox? And he's like, no, but they all three mentioned that was the first mailbox, like true mailbox attached to their home that they owned. Another one of the people said that it was common for him to have as many people in a household as there were rooms. There were 4 rooms in a house, then 8 people lived there. That wasn't abnormal to him. That's how he grew up. One of the other guys mentioned, and I thought this a very, very good thing when Dennis talks about children. When these children get this habitat home with their parents or their, their mother or their grandparents or their guardian, that guardian's able to make this house their house. The athlete that was speaking, he mentioned that they had always lived with his grandmother. So his grandmother was always in charge of what they did. It was grandma's rules because it was grandma's house. But when they got their own home, it was his mama's rules. So if mama had never been able to be the voice because they'd constantly been living with other family members who were strong personalities. And so he said that he found that his mother was a much stronger person than he realized. And he said if she said take out the trash or clean up your room, you jumped and you did it right then. And I thought that was a very interesting concept to think of, that a lot of our homeowners, they don't get to run their household as we do with our own personal households, or us that have children or have had children that have grown. I have certain rules for my son at my home. I have a certain way I like to keep my house. But if I don't have the security of a safe, decent, affordable home that's my own, then I don't really get that luxury. Sometimes if I'm living with other people, I'm living under their roof, under their rules, kind of with their guidelines. So we thought those were 2 really unique concepts, but I don't think we'll ever look at a mailbox again the same way after he said that. I checked my mail yesterday and thought about it as soon as I got home. So does anybody else have any kind of questions about what Habitat's doing or any general Habitat questions?
I want to know what your hours are for the Restore. And I love that you guys take the pictures and put it on Facebook. What are the hours and how is the Restore? How is the shop doing?
I'm gonna let you answer that.
Thank you. We take great pride in our store. That is one of the big ways that through the pandemic and through any time really, even the best of times or the worst of times for that matter, we've been able to generate revenue for our mission. And Henderson has been very, very kind to come in and shop at the Restore. Some of the items I know that they might be able to get somewhere else for more money, obviously, but they come here. We got a lot of guys in the back putting stuff together. I know some of the stuff that we sell has to be put together. I mean, I don't know if this will be funny to y'all, but everything that my wife and I have bought, I've been married 15 years. Everything that my wife and I have bought that has to be put together, we've almost gotten a divorce over putting it together. She's screaming at me. I don't have the right tool, so I can't even go into it. I'm sure all y'all are laughing because I know it's had to happen to y'all before. I can't be the only one. It's not possible. But no, we put some of the stuff together. Folks have come in, and but to answer your question specifically, we are open Mondays 11 to 5. And the only reason Monday is different is because we spend that first few hours in the morning with all of our staff having a few meetings, going over what we need to do for the week, what we need to do for the day. Communication around here, we have to make sure, because there's, when I first came, there was 3 of us, and now there's like 15. And we have to make sure that we're all on the same page. Everybody's doing their part, this part. And, but the rest of the week, Tuesday through Friday, we're 9 to 5. And Saturday, we are 9 to 2. I can't get anybody to bite on a second shift, so that's probably going to be our hours in perpetuity, I would say. Those hours work really well for us. And then, of course, as a lot of you know or might not know, you also mentioned something. I wish she was here today, but she's doing something, couldn't be here. Shadley Stone is our media outreach coordinator, and she does a fantastic job of anything to do in that realm, and she is the one that is most likely putting those pictures up on Facebook or various other modalities that you're seeing. She spends a lot of time, her and I are always constantly meeting, whether it be about the Restore or fundraisers, and going over pictures and media. And no, the Restore was huge during the pandemic because Shadley and Brittany here actually had a huge hand in switching over our store to a totally online form. I don't know if any of y'all shopped online, but it's kind of like a poor man's Amazon. That's what I like to call it when I see it. Because
it's next day delivery though. We don't do 3-day delivery. You can pick it up same day curbside. So we're better than Amazon.
I don't know about that, but anyways, you can go online. Item 6274 is a bookcase. Of course, this is an example. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you put it in your cart, then you can check out. People were pulling up and they were saying, "Hey, I'm Susan. I bought the bookcase, item number 6274. Could you please bring it out and put it in my truck?" Of course, she paid for it with her credit card, so we already had the funds, and a couple of us put on our mask and gloves, put it in the back of her truck. She waved out the window and drove off. I mean, our revenue was down just like everybody else's, I would assume, during that time, but we were still able to generate some revenue. And, you know, it was hard work, disinfecting. You know, we're still spraying today still, but then we were spraying everything. We had to let it set 72 hours. I mean, I looked at my poor staff members and their tongues were dragging. They were tripping over their tongues by the time this thing ended. And it was tough, but I tell you, they all pulled together. And, you know, Habitat here in Henderson, I should say, we made it through. And I'm not going to tell you it was unscathed because that'd be a lie, but we did make it through. And thanks to the patrons of Henderson for that, for the most part, because that's how it was possible that we made it through. Thanks for the question.
And we do.
Are there any other questions?
We do want to thank the Partnership of Women. We were able to receive a grant from them because we couldn't have our race this year. And the HER Fund extended their funds out to some of our Habitat homeowners. So we are very, I'd say proud is the word that we would use, to say that our affiliate has a 0% delinquency rate right now.
Through July 31st.
Through July 31st. But that is pretty much unheard of in the state of Kentucky.
Habitat nationally has a average of a 25% delinquency rate. Some of the habitats that we are good friends with here in the state of Kentucky right now have upwards of a 50% delinquency rate. I would have to say that a lot of those don't have committees as strong as our committees, family selection committees, and they also don't. Brittany and Shadley instituted something within the last few years where we don't just hand the family the key anymore and just we're done with them. We stay with that family all the way through. Now, of course, they're a homeowner and we make them responsible. We don't go back and help them with every little problem. No, we don't do that. But we stay with them for a support system. And there's not a lot of habitats to do that. Brittany came to me a few years ago and said that she felt very strongly about making that possible. And I'll be honest, I was like, I don't know if we have the staff to do it. I don't know if we have the staff time. I don't know if we have the money. But after seeing it work, I wouldn't have it any other way. And like I say, our family selection committee vents a lot of folks. And I'll be honest, our qualifications here in Henderson are very, very strict. You can have 0 collections before we'll put a shovel in the ground to build this house. I mean, I worked in the car business for years. I knew guys that made $200,000 that had collections. So, I mean, we're talking about something that's very strict, but I'll tell you this. Some of you might gasp when I say that, and I did too at first because like, we'll never get anybody. But what I will tell you is Brittany and Shadley work with these families. There have been people that have received the Habitat House that applied 4 years prior. And they said, you know, unfortunately, with what's going on, we can't, but here's how. You start paying this off today and come back and apply every year. And they did it. And guess what? I can name you 3 or 4 right now. I won't for, you know, reasons, but they did it. They made it through. They got their home, and you know, they told us stories that would make everybody on here cry. I mean, hell, they made me cry, and if you made me cry, it's got to be something. And it is something. So, are there any other questions in regards to anything that we talked about today before I get into the fundraising portion?
I have a comment.
Oh, sure.
The partnerships that Habitat creates is just really phenomenal. So you guys got a grant from PAL to do vouchers.
Correct.
And Matthew 25 has been able to use vouchers several times. And I think the last time you guys helped us, we had a homeless woman that had absolutely nothing and didn't even speak any English. There weren't anybody available to speak French Creole. And you guys were able to work with her and get her some furniture and a bed. And I'm just really, really grateful to those kind of partnerships that we can create in our community. And you guys are a big part of that. So thank you.
Thank you for saying that. We didn't really hit on the voucher program, but since you brought it up, we will. We're partners with about 13 different nonprofit agencies here in Henderson. And we found the need, of course, I mean, there's always a need, right? But what we found was that there was a lot of these agencies helping, agencies were helping the best they could. And somebody come in and say, I need beds for my kids. Well, some of these places, their annual budget may only be $20, $30, $40, $50,000. And when they go out starting to spend $1,000 for bedroom suits and this and that, all of a sudden, or the directors start paying stuff out of their own pockets, which we found was happening. So Brittany came to me, and there was something that the food shelter, the Christian Outreach was doing, where they were doing vouchers. And Brittany told me about it, and I said, man, that sounds great. And I said, how's it funded? And she said, well, she self-funds it. I said, well, I don't like that part of it. But I said, the rest of it sounds good. So Brittany went out and wrote a grant to the Western Kentucky Community Foundation, I'm sorry. And they started us off with our first $6,800. And I'll tell you, Jeff up here at the Answer Center, he loves it. On Saturdays, I can't tell you how many people come in for his service. They get the yellow bags, and they go in there and fill them up with clothes and kitchen items and all sorts of stuff. And whatever they could fit in their bag, they get to leave with. Jeff will send at least 3 or 4 here every Saturday that need a bed, that need a dresser, that need a refrigerator. And it's just great, because last time Brittany and I checked, and of course these figures aren't exact or accurate by any stretch, but based on the items that we've seen, we've ran since its inception back in January of 2018. We have ran about $58,000 through the voucher program. And most of those vouchers are $100, but some of them are more depending on the need. We've done up to $500 of vouchers for children that needed beds. We've been into homes where we've seen things that would really make you say it, couch cushions, rolled up sleeping bags, and that's how they've been living for a long time. But we have made a difference, and I thank you for bringing that up, because I think we've saved some of these agencies. The last time I looked at Brittany and I's paper, we're estimating that we've saved, even though we've only spent out $58,000 in vouchers, we've probably saved these agencies upwards of $200,000 had they have had to gone out and buy it retail or through other modalities. So no, thank you for bringing that up. That is a huge program. And that's one thing that even we take for granted, the community collaboration piece of Habitat. But no, you're right. That's what makes it all work. If it weren't for that, then none of us could make it. So.
And the way that helps us is that money then those private funds then come to us through the Restore, and then we're able to build homes with them. So every dollar actually doubles. So when he says we spent out $58,000, it's really like we took in that money, and doubled it, because then we take it to build a Habitat home. But one of the most recent families that we helped, their child had actually been at Riley, and they had cancer, and they came home, and they were living in I believe it had to have been a rental, and a very dilapidated rental at that, and there was black mold everywhere. And they told them that the children, it was not safe for this child, especially with their health condition, for them to bring anything. They had to leave every piece of everything they had in this rental, and they were able to get into some housing. But of course, housing only provides the stove and the refrigerator, not everything else. And so we said, of course, send them on over immediately. And that mother was so extremely grateful. Everybody writes a thank you card, and the ones that say, I couldn't get my kids what they needed without your help. Those are the ones that get to me, because I have a young child. But or a daughter wrote, thank you for helping my mother We just didn't have the extra money in our budget, to take care of this extended family member. So we're very happy about all of the voucher program and everything else. And I'll let Matt share one more thing so we don't hold you guys up. We were originally asked to talk about the bourbon raffle that we have. We actually sold out on that bourbon raffle. So, but don't worry, don't look sad, because we have one more.
Yeah,
So,
we did. I'll send this out to whoever wants it. We started this. A gentleman from another habitat in Kentucky gave us the idea back in 2018, and I drink beer every once in a while. I actually think bourbon is disgusting. I mean, when somebody opens it, but I will tell you that it has a cult following like I've never seen. So it has been a very successful. We've done 3 of these now, and we're about to do our 4th. And it's been very good in the sense of people that have come out and purchased tickets and supported us through it. And of course, whether they want to support us or not, they're trying to win, which I don't blame them. I suppose some of this stuff, I don't even know what Pappy Van Winkle is. I had Leslie Crampy and Dennis Moran and Tony Crampy. They had to teach me what this stuff was. And when I started, I guess that's why they sent me out looking for it first, because I was so ignorant to it. When I started asking people if they would donate theirs or if I could buy it, they started sweating profusely. They started stuttering. They started not answering my phone calls. So that's when I knew, when I went into somebody's house and they had this beautiful story about how they acquired the bottle. I mean, it was almost like, it was beautiful. It was like romance. And I asked him, I said, sir, do you have a story like that for how you met your wife? And he goes, no. And that's kind of how I knew. I was like, wow, there's some power here. And no, it does well. We've done well with it. But this next one that's coming up, it starts September 29th. I've gone out and passed out some flyers today, actually. Brian McDaniel's also on that committee. He's been a huge help to us. Of course, he owns the 3 local liquor stores here in town, the Beverage Barns. And he hasn't donated anything or anything like that, but he's just given us great advice and helped me. And then, of course, Shadley, who's not here again, she's the one who takes the beautiful pictures. She knows how to do the Facebook target marketing and, blah, blah, blah. And but this one here, I don't know if y'all can see it extremely well. I'll try to. So the first place there is the 6 Pappy Van Winkles, the entire line of them there. There's a Pappy Van Winkle light up sign there, a couple of Pappy Van Winkle cigars and various things. And then, I don't know, there's somebody here. I think there's somebody on this call that might have helped with this. There's 6 Waterford crystal glasses. Dennis, thank you for the donation. We appreciate it. Yeah. So first place is going to be pretty good. But then, of course, this is the first time we've ever done this. You'll notice that there's 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place, and 5th place as well. So not only do you just have 1 chance to win, you have 5 chances to win something. And we've offered $350 travel expenses for 1st place, and then $150 travel expenses for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. Unfortunately, even though we understand there were some alcohol shipping laws passed on July 1st, the FedEx and the UPS can choose whether they partake in that or not. None around here do, so we can't ship it because I'd have to lie. So then if it got broken and I had it insured, they wouldn't honor the insurance. So unfortunately, people that do buy it from far off are going to have to figure out how to come get it. Shadley, of course, has claimed that she'll take one of her vacations to take it to them, but I mean, we can't guarantee that, obviously. But we hope that some of you might turn out and buy some tickets. Right now, I think the last several, I think we've had about, of the tickets that we've sold, about 8% have been from Henderson, and then probably 10% from Evansville and Owensboro, but the rest, there's about 41 states represented as far as that goes. So But again, I'll tell you, for those of you who seem interested or might be interested in doing something like this, getting the gaming license and talking to the gaming people and getting all the alcohol licenses and then filling out all the paperwork and then having somebody build your website. I'll tell you, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and having somebody like Shadley who answers the Facebook questions within 10 minutes of them being posted instead of letting them sit for 4 days and somebody getting pissed off and posting on your site that this is a scam. Nobody will answer me, because we've seen other habitats that have tried and don't answer their questions fast enough, and people get mad. And I'm not trying to discourage anybody from doing this. I hope that somebody could. I will tell you, I've spent many sleepless nights on this. Dennis can attest. I don't know how many times I've called Dennis at 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night, and he always expects me to call him. He's like, I've been watching the phone waiting for you to call. So he knows, and always talking about the problems that we encounter or something. But it has been good. So any questions about that at all?
And all of the proceeds from the raffle go directly to building homes in Henderson County.
Right.
We call it the houses that Bourbon built, is what we call it, or the house that Bourbon built.
Under, in the shadows, we call it that.
In the shadows, that's what we call it. We stole that from another habitat.
Yeah.
And we will tell you, some people, they collect these things, as we hear. Again, we're not bourbon aficionados. But the very last people cracked us up, they won, they took off a week, and they drank every bottle they won.
Yeah, they said, we're taking off a week from work, and they said we were going to start getting plowed. I said, wow, great.
So you guys can do whatever you want with it once you win it.
Yeah.
We don't care if you drink it, sit on a shelf. It's
Or donate it back to us.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be,
that hasn't happened
that
yet.
hasn't happened yet. Now, I doubt it will, but you never know. But anyway, anybody have any questions about the raffle?
And Amber, we'll send over a flyer with all the information, if that's okay,
Absolutely, yes.
for us to get that out. And I'll give my, what is it? It's the $5 for the 5 seconds or something, right, Cindy? Is that what it's called? When we used to stand up and talk? And I'll give my money for the trivia, because I probably owe Lori like $20 for trivia. I never know the answer.
I never do either. She does a fabulous job.
Brittany, you actually owe me like $50, girl. You've been gone for a while.
Lori,
in all seriousness, I think it would be a good idea to put something out, Lori, to let people know from the point that we ended up having to quit doing the live stuff. How much do we owe you for trivia? Because I don't know when we started it. And
well, for the first round, before we went to the few in-person sessions, that was $20. And since we went to this session, I want to say it's like 7. I think we've only had like 7. It may be 6 or 7, but I can find out for sure.
unless you're meeting, then I'm up to like 75 now.
But Brittany always owes me money.
It sounds like the margin calls here. I feel like that it's time to start paying up.
Yeah. Jenny's gonna borrow some money. Can you send it to Lori? I'll get you back.
I'm just kidding. You know that.
the other question I do have, I'm assuming, and I think it's great that we are donating the food every Thursday. Are we continuing to do that?
Sure, great question. The board decided that we're going to start doing this once a month. Our
Okay.
next one will be September 3rd, and then the other times, the one other time a month, we're going to donate to an organization. Like we did,
Okay.
July was the Ice Fest, and August was the paper towels for the school system.
Okay.
Great question, thank you. Are there any other questions for Habitat before we
No.
close it for this meeting?
Also, Dennis, we're working on getting a newsletter out that we can mail to all of our Rotarians. They kind of tell everybody what's going on as well, instead of just using the digital platform. Am I correct on that, Amber?
Yes, I've looked in DACDB and I'm working on it, but tax savvy is not me.
I think that's a great idea.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you very much. And we should end the way we began, with the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And is it
Is
fun?
it fun?
Absolutely. Next week, we have Tim Grimm talking about the Kentucky Derby. And always like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website. And also our YouTube channel, where this is going to be shared here once it's done recording. So anytime you have any questions or missed past meetings, you're more than welcome to go watch them.
Okay,
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good week. We'll see you later.
you too. Bye.